up, Blizzard Nation? Welcome back to Strictly Blizzness, episode 126. Back in the studio, presented by Creative Edge and ERK. Hopefully, put an echo on that.
I think they have special effects that they can do that,
Yes.
but I understand.
We had a game this weekend.
We did. It was exciting. So we got a lot to decompress, right? So this is a behind the scenes show. So everybody knows the outcome of the game. We can talk about that, but I think we should talk about all the things that went on in our arena, prior to, because this is behind the scenes. So if we break down the day, it was a 3:00 game. You got there at what time? Just so people understand what goes into doing a game.
I'm not sure you're going to like the answer to that.
I know the answer to this. So I want you to say
5 a.m.
You were there at 5, but why were you there at 5?
I had to get Duncan when they opened at 5, and then we had to put the logos on the field and get it done so we could then teach the staff on the field for the first time ever.
Yeah, so and that was an anomaly. I get it.
Yep.
Everybody else then reported at
8 a.m.
8 a.m. So
outside 8 of 3 that volunteered to do turf logos with us, and then our front office admin staff. Yep.
Yeah. So and there was quite a bit. I mean, I got there around noon, and there was already flurry happening.
Actual flurries.
And flurries. There was snow.
I got asked if I controlled the weather. There's only one dude that does that, and it's not me.
It's not you. No.
Yep.
No. So right around that 1:00 time frame, people started coming up and into the Bud Light Lounge to meet with a particular person.
Yeah, Adrian Smith.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was her game that she was playing in association with Gnome Games. And I got to say, I am so impressed. I always am with Gnome Games. And I do think they are a hidden gem that so many families just are not aware of. I actually told a couple of my guests yesterday about Gnome Games and said, no, you can go there and play the games ahead of time. And they went, what?
Yep.
I thought they do just like Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm like, well, yeah, they have that clientele as well. But, you can go and find some great games like this, Blitz Champs. Adrienne was there with all of her rings, championship rings from
more
the
rings
NFL.
Than Brady and more rings than Thanos. So.
Yes. Fabulous. Fabulous. Yes, she is quite the athlete. She's got a ton of energy. She developed this game, which is a take on Uno and football. So you're actually doing touchdowns. There's so many things going on with this game. It's a great game. We're looking into some other packaging. Right now it's packaged with the NFL and Packers. She does have the license to do that. This is also an app that you can download on Google and play it that way. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes for a round, and she had players that were anywhere from 8 to, there was some grandmas in there too playing, so everybody was having a good time, which was great to see. So thanks to Gnome Games for helping us put that together and get her there, and to introduce us to the game.
Good people.
They
Both
were.
of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great people. So that was happening before the game. We had all kinds of new things happening yesterday. We had a new red hat that I don't know that I have ever seen a red hat doing this with his hat, trying to get the attention of the refs. But I kind of looked down and went, okay, I know he's new, but is that a new signal? What's happening down there?
Like angels in the outfield.
Yeah. I thought, well, maybe he's taking it to a new level. My mic's not working. I'm going to use semaphore. But I think, and I know you have a different opinion because you're behind it all. So other than the broadcast, which we're going to get to in a minute, other than the broadcast, to everybody on the field, it was a great presentation of us doing some pretty fantastic stuff. There's two things that I really want to talk about. The first one is I'm sitting there and I hear, we got something really special coming up after this touchdown. And I'm like, oh, what are we doing? And then all of a sudden I hear, we're throwing out footballs. And I was like, wait, we're doing what?
Ryan just threw $1,500 of the inventory into the
I'm
crowd.
like, oh my gosh, who decided on? I'm like, this is great, Ryan, if you're doing this. But so we had, and I just want to say, and I know that he and that they watch the show. We have never had a sponsor partner do what happened at this game. He bought up how many balls?
30.
He bought 30 balls to throw out to the fans in the stands.
And they didn't even have his logo on it.
That is awesome. So I'm going to let you say who it is because go ahead.
Eric Martin and Cass from Green RX, Wisconsin.
So their logo is what was hanging in above the party pit. That's the net that's there. I just want to thank you guys. I thought that was a tremendous gesture. I didn't hear that it was announced that it was on them. Was it announced?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just missed that part because I wouldn't have sent you a text. Maybe it was while I was sending you the text like, what are we doing? That was phenomenal, and I know the fans appreciated it. A lot of people got balls that would not have gotten them. So that's just above and beyond. So thank you so much for everything you do for us as an organization, but also for our fans. That just shows how dedicated you are to what we do here, and we really appreciate it. So I saw that, and I loved the yard games. Love the yard games, but I do need to tell you that every time I saw them throw one of the ring, where it's I can't.
It's ladder ball.
Okay, because it's called something else, and I'm not going to.
Even when we demoed it on Channel 5, he really wanted to call it something else on air. So
yeah, it's a ball toss of sorts, but they were throwing them overhand, and I was just like oh
tomahawk axe throwing style. Yep.
Yes, and I just thought, oh my gosh, one of those interns is going to get hit
for sure.
And the poor little girl that was out there, I mean, they were going everywhere.
Contestant selection things to work through, but yes.
But it was going, they were just going all over the place. So thank you, ProScape, for that, because I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
The carts on the field for festival were new.
Yeah. We had a pro junior quarterback apparently that made all 3 in a row.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The game was over.
Yeah. It was fabulous. Yep. And then, the other side made 2.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we did have, during Snowstorm, a grand prize winner.
Yeah, we gave away pizza for a year, and I had to text a friend who owns AK Cross, and he's like, I thought you told me it was random. I'm like, yeah, you also added 1,000 more footballs to the mix, dude. So odds went up, but huge shout out to Nick Charles, since actually that I've known longer than Trinklers. I outfitted his house. His house was the last job I did at Best Buy. And prior to having Consumer Pizza now in Peps and Legit Pizza, just owned a crust company. So I say he had no business sponsoring the Blizzard, but we have a lot of, I'm going to call it blue collar Wisconsin business people who believe, even though there was no marketing value, it was about his team at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get to help him hopefully sell pizzas at festival and wherever his pizzas are carried. But it was a real fun exchange there after. I was like, dude, you're not going to believe this. In 10 years, no one has won at the first game, but we just gave away pizza for a year.
So then somebody said to me, so does that mean nobody can win anymore? And I went, no, every game they have the opportunity. Yeah. So kudos to everybody that participated in that. It looked great. We had, like we say, we're making it snow with these small footballs. It looked great from a presentation.
Not quite adjusted to 15 minutes halftimes yet, and that will show, but we'll get there. So we were picking up footballs as I'm watching 30 seconds, 20 seconds. We still have FRC in the field. I'm like, this is going to go well. It's going to go well. Thanks for the 15-minute halftimes, IFL. Sorry, I'm good now. I need a rage cage.
You need a rage cage today.
We'll get it.
Let's blame Todd Tryon for that because he's the one that pushed that. So
it's all good.
We can, and I just say we do it. Let's just request the 20-minute halftime.
There are extensions coming for Dash for Cash and other Reese's
peanut butter cups?
Reese's eggs. The reasons. So we'll be good. And I do want to shout out Jeff Binns and the PMI crew who are both helping me as we get into the stream stuff, try and figure out what's going on, and also move some building partner commercials to support the halftime change, which was really awesome. So to have him proactively be like, hey, And now, granted, I printed 18 timelines, then we moved the commercials. But I got a text. He's like, I got you another minute. We're moving some of the commercials. I'm like, that's awesome. Thank you for thinking of us. So.
That could very well be why the red hat was then going like this, like, get off the field.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a very eventful day. I will say that. We had a great dedication to Grandma Sandy. That whole thing got messed up too. I thought I was going out at a certain time, and then all of a sudden I see the ref out there calling everybody out for the coin toss, and I'm like, I didn't do my thing yet, but okay, we just ran with it. But again, nobody knew any of that.
I'm watching from the party pit, and I'm radioing Jeff. I'm like, Kathy's got a mic. It's not where it's supposed to be, but just know that it's about to go. So yeah.
So we just, and then that got done, and then I see Vetrano on one side doing the hype up of the crowd, and I'm like, well, where's Adrian? And so I come back with my mic, and I'm like, you're supposed to be out there. So she comes out late, and it just, it was.
And then she had to hop a flight, so that was all. Yeah.
Yeah. So. But anyway, all good stuff. Like I said, to the normal bystander, it was, this is great. So.
Yeah, we had actually a birthday party or two come through while people were at the game. And I mean, again, when you're behind the scenes and you're stuck in a tough situation that we'll talk about in a minute, but like you don't see all that stuff. And Nat put it best this morning that we have a really young, like high school young and other staff right now that will be in cruise control by the third game and will be outstanding if they come back from more than one season. But it's about the youngest team we've ever had operating game needs with us. And I think that's great because they fall in love with it. Hopefully we got multiple year interns, not just, I had fun. So,
well, I will say every time I was in the promo tunnel, there wasn't the, or they weren't.
Also said that they
weren't on their phones, right?
Yep.
They weren't on their phones or engaging with other people. It was, they were ready for whatever was needed. So that was really cool to see as well. But again, all good stuff. All good stuff. I had people asking for the stress cows if we were selling stress cows.
So we actually, if anyone's paid attention in 10 years, we're running less promos than we ever have this year. Like games, we're throwing more stuff in the crowd. Not intentionally. That's just what sponsors wanted to do, partners wanted to do. So, but there are 4 tosses on a normal game, not even counting throwing game balls in this game. So
yeah. No, it was very, very engaging. Good stuff. There was
really cool.
Gentleman
the stress cows looked cool.
So yeah, they did. Like, there's a cow coming through. It's like
it is
Twister.
Nuts. Like it blows my mind that people go nuts for donuts and cows.
Oh, did you hear that? Who wants some donuts?
Crazy.
And the crowd just went nuts.
I did get a couple. Can you parachute them in again? I'm like, it's like $400 with parachutes, but maybe by April 19th we can go back to parachuting. So. It was really cool, though. And I never want to go as simple as just throwing stuff in the crowd, but people go crazy. I could throw my shoe in the crowd and just one shoe. That's it. Like, that would be the toss. Roll out the entire 20 members of the promo team and just throw my one shoe in the crowd, and it would go crazy.
They might throw it back, though.
Probably,
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was a good first game. Good first game with it being St. Patrick's Day. We had some people that were dressed to the nines for St. Patrick's Day. We did have the Badgers playing. I don't know if that took away from us at all, but I did see the Badger score always up. On
so they can't
the big
air
screen.
It. Your husband did ask that. They cannot air it because we sold tickets to the game, but they were rotating the score through. So,
which is fabulous. It was on in the suites if you wanted to put it on in the suites, because we had it on in the background just to watch the score. I did get comments from a couple of fans saying how disappointed they were that I was not in costume.
You set a standard for yourself.
I did. And then they were like, do you have a different game that you're going to be in costume in? And I went, I guess I don't. This was probably my opportunity. So
90s night.
That's true. I could do 90s night. Anyway.
That is the advertised costume contest. So,
yeah. All right. So let's talk about what did not go well and what turned into be a very ugly situation. So for all of you all of you guys, for all of you that were watching, our stream was not a stream. It started out okay, and then it just took a turn, and we spent the entire game, literally, that's where Ryan was the entire game, was on press row. We tried, I think there were 3 separate computers we swapped out. Everything was fine in the booth, but once it got down to where we were on press row, we couldn't get anything to work. And, we when you're in a live situation, it's not like they could just shut down the booth or us say, hold on, we're going to have a technical timeout for 20 minutes to get this figured out. You can't do that in live sports. So what they could see was the video. It's just the audio was not working at all. It was an absolute disappointment to all of us, Ryan, myself, the organization, the IFL. It was for how fantastic the feed was for the Arizona and Naz game. It was that horrible for our game. So we say that out loud. We know that. We will have it fixed for the next game, which happens on Saturday. But it was a big disappointment. So as an behind the scenes kind of thing, don't think, I was getting texts, poor Ryan was getting texts from me, everybody and his brother. Hey, your feed's down, your feed's this, your feed that. And all we could say was we're trying to work on it. And we actively were working on it throughout the broadcast, which wasn't a broadcast, which then made Joey, because Joey had some great guests and some things planned and videos planned, and all of that just had to go to the wayside. Are we able to get a recording of what the booth had?
I don't know.
From an audio? We should ask, because if we can somehow save that onto YouTube over what we currently have, then at least there would be a broadcast versus the garbly-gook that was out there.
I will ask that when we turn him loose on the new project.
Yeah.
It'll go away.
Yeah,
So, yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Let's talk about the game now. I know you were not really watching the game because you were doing other things, but we had a great 3 quarters, I would say. The first half, I was blown away by our team. We got a lot of flack from some of our football fans that are out there that there were some key people we should have kept. I think as a team, we played very, very well. I think they played as a team. Max was having a great day. And then, we were outscored 20-0 at the end there. And it was like at those last 18 seconds where I really thought, oh, it's going to happen. And then there's an interception. And it just, of course, that's a letdown for everybody. Whether you're a fan, a football fan, you're in the stands just to support the Blizzard, you're an owner, you're a coach, you're the players. Of course, it's a disappointment. So to think that it's not, it absolutely is. But I will say this, that for our team, we had six guys return. For the most part, the rest of them are all rookies. I think it's a good learning experience that you got to stay engaged through the end. You got to get ahead, which we did, but then you got to stay ahead. You can't let them gain any ground on you. I normally don't like to pick on our refs because they have a hard job to do. There were some calls that I would say were questionable. The one in particular that Corey did challenge was when we thought we had a touchdown, but we were actually short, and it was near the end of a quarter. So I get it. We didn't want to give Massachusetts the ball back, but you never want to do away with points on the board. So he needed to challenge that because I personally thought it was a touchdown. Basically what he was told, I think, was that there was no indisputable proof. And again, that goes to the multiple camera angles that we don't have. So the ruling on the field stood that he was a couple of yards short, and we had to then go ahead and get the touchdown. But to me, if we would have gotten that touchdown, they might have answered with another touchdown, but you always lose momentum after you get a call like that. So that's my 2 cents. You got any 2 cents to add?
Mm-mm. No, I don't. Only because I didn't see anything besides a couple Macs running it in when I was glancing up from a laptop screen that I had no idea how to troubleshoot, but I was there playing middleman. So, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and thank you, PMI, for, helping us as much as you could to address the situation. There's things that the venue can do and can't do, and, we need to just work together to make sure that what happened with this game doesn't happen again. That's really the long and short of it. So that's our game. Great win for Arizona out in Naz. They had a fantastic game. that was another game that I think there was some good back and forth, and then Arizona does what Arizona always does is they just they played through and played better. Massachusetts did the same thing to us. They stuck with it. They were down by quite a bit, and they just kept pushing it forward, pushing the ball forward. So congrats to Mass and congrats to Arizona on 2 great wins.
Yeah.
All right.
The one this weekend?
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean,
what are we doing?
Jersey night.
So big night.
Saturday, 6:05 game where people can line up crazy early. Not going to ever answer that question on air on how early you should be there. Figure it out. Doors open at 5. 1,000 youth jerseys to the first. Well, that was easy. 1,000 to the first.
That was 1, simple math.
Kids 12 and under.
That's what you meant to say. Yeah.
So we also had a real cool one that's hard to explain on a post, but if you wear any year of Blizzard youth jersey or a local team, not a Green Bay Packer, a local sports team youth jersey that night, you get a free popcorn voucher thanks to our friends at PMI. So we want everybody out in their local team's jersey or prior year's Blizzard jerseys. That will be in the lobby. We'll hand out vouchers while supplies last. So you got to come in, grab your popcorn voucher, but just a cool thing that PMI wanted to do to have people wear their local jerseys or all of our years of Blizzard youth jerseys, which I see all over the community, even well before your and my time. I see really old jerseys. So,
yep. Great thing to see. And they're going to come in a youth jersey, whether they get a new one or not. They're still going to be in the youth jersey. So to Ryan's point, wear your previous year youth jersey, even if you don't get in line for this new one or you do get one, still wear those youth jerseys. That's a great representation of what we're trying to do in the community.
Yeah. And so for grown-ups, it's BOGO Bud Night. There's spring break weekend. So if you're an adult that can't get a youth jersey, you can come out to the game too. So.
Have your own little spring break on us.
So.
All right. Well, no, don't do the spring break thing because that can get crazy. So let me take that back. I'll retract that myself. All right. Do we have anything else around Blizzard? Otherwise, I'm going to address some of the comments from our last show.
Don't think so in Blizzard world.
Okay.
I got a question that we probably need Coach to answer, so we'll save that for another episode. But I heard you. Other question from said season ticket holder. I got 2 emails from season ticket holders that had some personnel questions.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll address that on the next show.
Yeah, it's not something that Kathy and I have the answer. We just probably bring Corey on, or we'll get an answer. So we did hear you. So,
All right. Awesome. So we had apparently I struck a nerve with some people, which seems to be the AFL world out there. No, I didn't get my acronym wrong. I did say AFL, not NAL. The NAL pretty much imploded, and so did the CIF, some of which went to the AFL that may or may not be playing. And don't get me wrong, guys. If the AFL can get things together and they can have a couple of games this season, more power to them. The information that I get as a fan or even as a super fan of the AFL, you're not going to get the same kind of information. So, I take everything that I see on social media with a grain of salt because most of the stuff isn't real. But there's behind the scenes owner talk that happens that having the position that I do, I just get more insight than some of you might get. And I'm telling you that there's some serious issues going on there. So whether they have a contract or don't have a contract with the NFL network, that doesn't make a season. You still have to have people in the stands. You still have to have teams that can actually carry through the entire season, that are able to travel, that have the money to do so. So I'm not taking back what I said. I wish them all the luck in the world. My comment still stands. I just don't see it happening. So I struck a nerve with some people, and they can tell me I should be ashamed of myself and all those other things that they said, and I take it with a grain of salt. You guys you're welcome to your opinion. I think it's great that they have such a fiery fan base. We still can say that we're the longest running, other than the NFL, professional football league, because we have been around for as long as we have, and we've stayed around, and we're going to continue to do so. And we have a very strong ownership group within the IFL, and based on what we saw on caffeine on Saturday night, we definitely are hitting new people that we haven't hit before. So very excited about that relationship with Caffeine TV and what that's going to bring to our consumer base. That's what I have.
10-4. Got it.
I think that's your cue. I don't know. Because I keep getting it wrong every time. So I don't want to say it and then have you say, wait, that's mine.
Oh,
so
are
we already?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Good.
Are
we're
we?
Good. Okay.
Well, no, you tell me.
Yeah, I think we're good. Coming
Okay.
out Saturday night. So, and then we're not home again for just under a month into April for the next game. So, see you Saturday night.
Yeah, please come out Saturday night. We got a lot going on with that game as well. Hopefully we'll have a great broadcast as well. But we're playing the Iowa Barnstormers, which is always great to have Mogs back in the house. I'm not sure if Jeff or Julie are traveling, but we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Great organization.
Yes.
So you hit him with it?
Let's hit him with it.
Go
Blizz.
Don't forget to like, follow,
subscribe,
share,
and ring that notification bell to get all of our content in your inbox.